All right, man. So the Most High, He's set up His men, the elect, all right? Which is wonderful because the elect are the people, all right? Yes, Israel has a covenant, all right? Let's read about that covenant that Israel has. All of Israel has a covenant that the Most High said He'll never forget about Israel, which is the wonderful thing, okay? But let's go to the covenant right now and say what the Lord would do. Let's see, what do I want here? Okay. Man, there's so many good ones. Let's go back to Psalms. Psalms chapter 50. All right? Because what we want, and this is the precept for the saints, is wonderful. Psalms 50 verse 5. Talk about all right, Psalms 50 verse 5, it says, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. All right? So the covenant are given to the saints. All right? The same saints that had a covenant, and we'll go back to that. That's the precept. Let's look at it here. Some of these Bible have precepts already that I have written down, or that just have it in it already too. It's a good one here too, but Exodus 24:7, and he took the book of the covenant and he read it, and he read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Most High had said we will do, and be obedient. All right, so these are the same things that they said, the covenant that they read that they'll be obedient to, as the scripture says. All right, those same people, those are the same people right now that are waiting. Okay, His saints. All of Israel is promised the covenant. Okay, but the elect are a group of people that are promised salvation if we keep it to the end. All right, but so anybody wants to know who the saints are, well, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10. It said, he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. The saints have been waiting for this for a long time, man. Long time coming now that we're waiting on the Most High to come and to save us, redeem us. All right. These people on the sign, all right, we're part of the people that have been looked down in society as the worst. All right, the president right now calls so-called Latinos, they call them the worst of the worst, rapists, gang members, and those are the only ones that are coming here, a majority, right? Native Americans, they say that you didn't have to trick you and rob you out of your land and offer you a fifth of gin or some wild turkey, and you accepted it. They didn't even, like it did a Jacob to Esau move. All right, all the lies that were made up and said, the so-called Negro, nothing happened to him. Slavery was a mutual thing. They weren't smart enough to gather and leave and congregate and whatnot. Man, the lies again told by this enemy, and we believed it for so long. All right, but the saints have steadfast from generation to generation, believing in these scriptures. All right, waiting on the redemption of the Lord. All right, so Psalm 50 and 5 is a good precept to Revelation 13 and 10. Who are the saints? The saints are the people from the covenant from jump, from day one. All right. Now the people that are promised, the Lord's elect, here's a good one on the elect, because these times where it's madness right now. Every time there's somebody else. Everybody else is a patsy now. Not that they didn't partake, but R. Kelly. All right, Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein's got connections with people in St. Thomas, because his island, his temple of molestation and rape, they call it, is right off of St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. All right, and so these people right now have probably organized all type of wild orgies and crazy events. All right, for people all around the world. All right, Jeffrey Epstein, they call it the Lolita Express. I think they call it Lolita anytime it's an underage woman. I think that's the name of the case that they give it, or like a runaway, a girl runaway is called the Lolita, something like that. All right, but that was the nickname, and that's how he had it. He had I think the Jumbo 747 or the Airbus A350. I'm into them big planes, man, because they continue selling, they continue making them, or they sold them all to the United Emirates. The nice Airbuses, the 350, the 380A. A lot of those they don't even have in America anymore. All right, Abu Dhabi and Saudis, they got that locked up. All right, America has lost its everything. Okay. So when we see all these things happening, they just said they just had where a security guard, and he came out with in his memoirs that he found a trap door or a trap room and a steel casing door. It wasn't an actual door, some room that was made to look like kind of child room and adult room at the same time. You know, basically like it was a room full of torture or raping or whatever they want to do to them little kids. All right? So straight up, he said, man, listen, and people are spending all this money. They say it costs like two people, over $500 to go to Disneyland, Disney World, Epcot. You know what I'm saying? You got the kids and they want to watch the Disney movies and whatnot. Man, it just makes you sick to your stomach. You want to put something else on, man. You're like, man, but they found all this disgusting stuff. We want to get up out of here, man. And the scripture is for the elect. Matthew 24:22. Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. And it says, and except those days, how you doing? All right. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right. And so the elect, you brothers know out there, the elect is the ones that the Lord, that He is a special group. All right. Just like you got on a team, professional team, semi-pro, you got a bunch of people that might be drafted on there or picked out by the organization, but then you have your specific people that start for you. You can't have everybody starting. You have that specific group. Well, that's the elect that the Lord is talking about. All right. And here it says that for the elect's sake, that the days be shortened. But we're living in hell right now. Every single thing that's going on, you wake up and there's 1,000 more kids that were raped and abused, not just from the Catholic Church, directly from the Vatican. You had the Vatican, you have the Pope, and one of the top bishops, cardinals, had gay orgies and wild parties. The Vatican police had to shut it down. This is billions of people are pledging their allegiance to this church. with their rituals, with all these things they do, not knowing that the scriptures is all you need. And who needs it? The elect, the people on this side. All right? According to their promised salvation, according to the scriptures. All right? How you doing, man? You about to start singing in the park and stuff like that? You listening to the...
I just need to hear what you're about.
Oh, what I'm about? Yeah, I'm about salvation being for just the Jews, just Israel. That's what the Bible said. Did you know that?
Who is Israel?
I'm doing a class, and I know you're interested, but do you mind being right over here?
The ones who keep the Ten Commandments and the testimony.
Well, that's not who all Israel is. I'll read you the scripture because that sounds good, but the Bible explains who that is. So I'm doing a class. Do you mind just everybody kind of see your face? Do you care?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet? The scripture says don't be ashamed of the gospel or his name.
Yeah, it's all good. God told me I'm not ready until 2020.
Oh, okay. Well, better hope that all this stuff doesn't break loose, that all hell doesn't break loose right now before you figure out. But let me address what you're saying, because that's not what the church is. That's not what Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, they don't teach you that the certain group of people are only promised salvation according to the scriptures.
It's Isaiah 8:20, and it's according to his testimony and to the law.
Okay, now who was given the law?
It was Israel.
Not only was it Israel. I'll read the scripture that way. You know, anybody can say anything, but I'd rather go right to the scripture. Actually, it's 613. It's way more than 10. Lot more than 10.
But the main are 10.
No, the main aren't 10. That's just something that they showed you on the movie with Charlton Heston.
No.
There's
the New Testament teaches that it's not the two tablets anymore, but it's written on our hearts. The Ten Commandments.
It's not written on our hearts yet. That day hasn't come.
We need it to be written on our hearts.
We need it to be, but that day hasn't come yet.
Once we realize the Ten Commandments.
And the fact that all the laws that were given, let me just read this here, just let the scripture, all right? Okay. This is no problem. This is Psalms 147 and 19. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob. You know, Jacob.
10 Commandments, his word.
It's more than 10 commandments. I don't know who told you it's just the 10 commandments. And if it's just the 10, you got to show me that in the Bible. That's not true. That's not only is that not true, but for my listeners, when someone comes and tells you just something out the Bible, you got to prove it. So prove it. Isaiah 8:20. Let me finish this first. Okay? It says, he showeth his word and unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He is not dealt so with any nation, and as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So the Lord is saying that he gave it only to one people. And in any other nation in the world where the Bible talks about Egyptian, talks about Syrian, talks about, goes on and on. No other nation, according to the scriptures right there, that the Lord cared about and enough to give them his law, statutes, and commandments, and his judgments, right, which are good and bad. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, we were talking about the 10 Commandments, and there's also the laws of Moses.
Man, I don't, like I said, if you say
the laws of Moses are done, man.
The law, who said the laws of Moses are done?
Because Jesus died on the cross, man.
For what? For
all of us.
And he said he came to do what? He said that where does it say he came to die for all of us?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Exactly.
Okay, hey.
Exactly.
What's your name?
I don't shake hands like that. I'm Shamak. I'm an Israelite. What I'm out here for, hold on. What I'm out here for is to proclaim to the whole world, that I believe in this person that the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ, which they're not their names. It's impossible. J was just invented a few hundred years ago, so that's not what his mama called him. Second of all, the people on the sign are the Native Americans, Hispanic, and Negroes, who the real Holocaust on this globe happened for a reason. We were disobedient to the law, statutes, and commandments that were specifically given to us. And every law, every curse that the Lord said that would happen to us if we wouldn't obey him fits only us to a T. Doesn't fit anybody else. On top of that, is to proclaim that the Jews, which we are the real Jews of antiquity according to the scriptures, the Native American, Hispanic, and the Negro, brought forward in this country and raped, robbed, and murdered, and that the Lord is coming back for his people alone. Because we're the ones that needed redemption. The Lord came, and he didn't come to do away with the law, he came to fulfill it. Okay? That's his word.
By writing it on our hearts and putting it in our minds.
But that's not there yet. No one ever can say, I can walk out of here and I don't have to, it's just ingrained in me, I will not break the law, statutes, commandments. It doesn't work like that, because that time hasn't come yet. So that's what I'm here for. I'm introducing.
Time is now. The time is now.
Time isn't now yet.
The time is now.
Time is not here.
Time is now.
You know what?
America,
do you know?
I am no one. Jesus is someone who's coming.
Jesus is not his name. All right? And that's what, and Edomites or other nations won't know his name. So you just had somebody just proclaim in a false God, all right, who didn't want to be on the camera, and then all of a sudden want to bum rush my scene and be on the camera, all right? So none of that's going to work here. We deal with the scriptures, 100% of the scriptures, all right? But, hey, man, hey, wow.